Hi everyone, welcome to our video session for this week. We are actually going to be taking a step back and doing a self-reflection of who we are at Impaction, and ultimately talking about the social impact that we want to make in the world, just to show you a little bit about who we are, where we're coming from, and where we are in our individual social innovation journeys. Before we get started, here's a brief introduction about Impaction and what we're doing. But essentially, at Impaction, we are a community of people who discuss ways that we can make a positive difference in the world. And this doesn't need to be secluded in just creating a social enterprise, but there are different ways that one can make an impact. And we'll actually be talking about that today and be delving deep into that today so you can understand a little bit more of where we're coming from. To create a collaborative world where we can inspire people to take ownership in solving social issues by building a supportive environment to turn every idea into an actionable step. So the reason that we say that we want to turn every idea into an actual step, ultimately that's a goal. And that's something that we want to reach towards, especially because we find that in social media platforms, people are bent on creating ideas or policies that aim to provide an impact, but no one takes ownership of it.
So I literally stumbled upon this social sector when I met Shivani and when I started with Impaction. Before that, as you said, Shivani, it was more of an abstract idea that, I want to do something, but when and how are two of the biggest questions that I think everyone hasn't answered, and they just leave it at that. But ever since I started with Impaction, it has exposed me to so many things that are going on. I have read so many articles, so many stories that have inspired me to do something directly. But other than that, also stories that have opened my eyes about what's actually going on, and that I have too many questions about that. So that's a step forward. Because the more we know, the better we can understand what's going on. And the better we can understand what's going on, the clearer it becomes about our role in this and how we can make a difference.
We were lucky enough to find a place that essentially gave us a whole new perspective and a whole new action plan, so to speak, with Impaction, which was really nice because, I was definitely also one of those people who was like, oh, well, horrible things are happening in the world, but what can I do? I'm one person. I don't have a company, I don't have the money, so there's nothing I can do. So I'm just going to sit here and feel sad about it and move on with my life. And, that mindset has shifted dramatically for me, where I started with Impaction, a year and a half ago. And then from that person, I've come to a point where I want to talk to more people about, hey, this is not oh, well, what am I going to do kind of scenario. You can do so much with resources that you think you don't have, but you do. You spread the word, you talk to people, you connect with people, you have important conversations instead of, shallow, just materialistic conversations. Talk about people, talk about what you can do for other people, be kind, that kind of thing. Just the mindset has shifted to where I want to talk to people about that stuff.
I was the kind of person who would see it, people will talk about it, but it was like a learned helplessness where like, I know I cannot make a big impact enough to change anything. So just kind of let it slide. I know I can't do anything. So it's kind of like, not that it's none of my business, but like, if I take no action on it, that's what it really feels like it's none of my business. But it is. If it's something that is bothering you, if it's something that you think is not right, it does become your business at some point. And I think that's what Impaction is kind of doing to me, because even at home, the little things, I share anything that I learn, anything that we read through our innovation news. I'll share it with the people that I'm talking to. It's no longer the shallow conversations. Um, it's like it's no longer just superficial. It's something meaningful. Yeah.
I was exposed to the social sector through my freshman year of college at Marquette University in Milwaukee. And that was only because I took an elective class that talked about the introduction of social entrepreneurship. And I didn't have to take that class, but I had to take a required elective class my freshman year. I just happened to take that class. And then for that class, we read a book on how to change the world. It was just very straight to the point. And it talked about social entrepreneurship. And I was interested in the medical field from the very beginning. And I didn't know why I was interested in the medical field, but it was something that I was pushed into at an early age. Took the elective and then started thinking about, hey, what can I do? It was part of the curriculum. And for graduation in that class, we had to create an idea from scratch and then compete with a lot of other contestants in the college, and ultimately pitch it in front of judges. And it had to be like a social impact related idea. I think the point is that if it weren't for like my privilege in actually attending college in the first place, I wouldn't have been able to be in this space. So I think that's something important that like the people who are watching should recognize, is that not everyone has these opportunities to attend college and be aware of, hey, this is something else that I can do. So that is unfortunate because everyone has a capacity if they want to have the capacity.
So my journey with the social impact space started in 2016 when I first visited India for a vacation. I saw the transition between US and India, and I made a career transition to the social impact side. That's when I started to intern at Ashoka and I met Shivani. That's how Impaction was born. And one particular cause that I'm really interested to work for in the social impact space is orphan kids, improving their lives. They deserve love, care, affection, good education, everything. So one of my inspiring social entrepreneurs in that space is Jenny Bowen. So she's the founder of an organization called One Sky, which works with orphan kids in China. She established her organization in 1998. Since then, she has saved almost 1 lakh orphan kids in China. She is my big time role model.
That just everyone from our community knows a little bit more about our team at Impaction, what our individual interests, goals, the people that we look for to inspire us, and where we are in the social innovation journey. I hope this just we love connecting with our community members, and we love discussing ideas that make a positive difference. So we just want to thank you all for joining us today for this video session, and ultimately just talking about our vision and how these steps will allow us to shift mindsets and build a space for the unnoticed stories to ultimately build space and awareness around unnoticed stories and entrepreneurs that are making a positive difference, or build communities of social innovators and entrepreneurs and allow us to, more importantly, inspire change.